Do you enjoy our YouTube content? Do you wish there was more? Well, now there is. Patreon.com/PowerCast Network. There you will find, just starting at $5 a month, more access to podcasts, to shows, to other saves. Check it out today, everybody. That's patreon.com/PowerCast Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this day in wrestling history. Today we are covering October 8th, 1985. Let's travel on down to Florida and see what Championship Wrestling from Florida had going that day. On October 8th of 1985, Championship Wrestling from Florida ran the Spartan Sports Center in Tampa, Florida. Jack Hart beat Coco Samoa. And Jack Hart, if I'm correct, was none other than Barry Horowitz. Buddy Rose defeated Frank Lang. Hector Guerrero defeated the Grappler. Lady Maxine beat Percy Pringle III. Percy Pringle III, of course, became none other than Paul Bearer. Blackjack Mulligan and Kendall Windham went to a double countout with Maya Singh and Kevin Sullivan. And for the Southern Heavyweight title, Wahoo McDaniel defeated Rick Rude by disqualification. I'm not sure who was the Southern Heavyweight champion in this instance. I would have to look it up, and obviously I did not before this show. So let's go ahead and travel on to Jim Crockett Promotions. So on this day, which once again was October 8th, 1985, Jim Crockett Promotions ran the Recreation Center in Shelby, North Carolina, and this was a television taping. The Midnight Express, which was Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton, faced Jimmy Valiant and Rocky King. And of course, this was the main event of the evening, and I don't have a result. None of these have match results, unfortunately. Ivan Koloff and Nikita Koloff, along with Crusher Khrushchev, the future Demolition Smash, also known as Barry Darsow, defeated Denny Brown, Starship Eagle, and Ron Rossi. And if I'm correct, I think Starship Eagle was Scott Hall. Don Kernodle defeated Jim Jeffers. Jim Jeffers, along with his brother Mac Jeffers, eventually became the Mod Squad, Spike and Basher. Now, this gets interesting here, too. It looks like the Midnight Express worked a second match, and it was the Midnight Express versus George South and Mark Fleming. Everybody knows George South, of course, and Mark Fleming was a standout wrestler in Florida for many years. When he went to Crockett, he became enhancement talent. Next, we have Ron Garvin wrestling Mac Jeffers, and you know for certain that Ron Garvin went over on that one. And last but not least, we had Tully Blanchard versus Sam Houston. So that's an interesting television card for Jim Crockett Promotions. And we're going to travel to the north now. And actually, we're traveling way west, where the World Wrestling Federation did an event at the Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California. Ivan Putski defeated Mr. X. And in this case, Mr. X was Danny Davis. Now, this wasn't the Danny Davis that you think was the referee Danny Davis. This was Nightmare Danny Davis. All right, so 2-on-1 handicap match. King Kong Bundy defeated Quick Draw Rick Magara and S.D. Jones. The British Bulldogs, who of course were Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid, went to a draw with the Hart Foundation. Big John Studd defeated Billy Anderson. There was a lumberjack match in which Roddy Piper defeated Paul Orndorff. Orndorff, of course, was on a babyface run at this point. Pedro Morales defeated the Spoiler. For the Intercontinental Heavyweight title, Tito Santana put the title on the line against Jesse Ventura, and Santana won by countout. Macho Man Randy Savage defeated Steve Gatorwolf, and in the what I'm assuming was the main event here, Junkyard Dog defeated Terry Funk. that is a pretty stacked card by the WWF here, and it's pretty cool to see that despite what most people think, Jesse Ventura still did get in the ring from time to time. I imagine in this situation, there was probably a wrestler that no-showed the event. Somebody else we should talk about here is Steve Gatorwolf. The WWF had high hopes for Steve Gatorwolf. They were hoping that he was going to become the next big Native American draw, and things just did not turn out that way for Steve Gatorwolf. I think there was, if I remember correctly, there was some in-ring problems with Steve Gatorwolf, as in he was blowing spots and wasn't as technically or fundamentally sound as he probably should have been to wrestling at that level. Now, to me, the match that steals the card here was the British Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation. This is pre-Dynamite Kid blowing out his back injury, and this one probably tore down the house. They probably went to a time limit draw, probably went a full 20 or 30 minutes, and boy, were those two teams magic when they got in the ring together back then. In my opinion, the British Bulldogs and Hart Foundation was still magic even after the back injury to Dynamite Kid and his return. They were outstanding bouts. So that does it for us here, everybody, for this edition of This Day in Wrestling History. And once again, this was October 8th, 1985.